Hello all, I am Shatabdi Acharya from Vedang Institute of Technology. In today's video, we will be dealing with chemicals in agriculture. This is yet another very smaller and very easier part of your syllabus. And in this video also, we will be covering the entire chapter. It's actually a very small chapter, so you just have to remember certain names of the insecticides, pesticides that we use in our day-to-day life. So nothing to understand in this chapter. So quickly, we will go through this chapter and wind it up. So the first thing which we will be dealing with is pesticides. So what are the chemicals? See, chemistry is something which is applicable in like every part of our day-to-day life. We cannot imagine life without chemistry. Be it your food, clothing, medicines, or be it agriculture, chemistry is everywhere. So in today's video, we will be dealing with chemicals which we particularly use in agriculture. So you must, like, India is mostly an agriculture prevalent country, so nobody know, like there might be hardly anyone who doesn't know about pesticides, insecticides and herbicides, right? So this is a topic which is not at all new to you all, but we have to take up because it is simple as well as important, because here you have to learn the names of some insecticides and pesticides, herbicides, fungicides which you normally use in our agricultural practices. So the first one is pesticides. What are pesticides? Pesticides are chemical compounds that are used to kill pests including insects, rodents, fungi and unwanted plants which we call weeds. Okay, so pesticides are certain chemicals which are used to kill pests including what are the pests? Pests are any unwanted substances which particularly harm our crops. Okay, so pests are classified as insecticides, rodents like rats and stuff, fungi and unwanted plants. And the unwanted plants are called as weeds. The term pesticides includes insecticides, herbicides and fungicides. Insecticide is basically a broader term which includes insecticides, herbicides and fungicides. Insecticides, see, sides means substances that kill something. So insecticides means the chemical substances which are used to kill insects. Herbicides means the chemical substances which are used to kill the herbs, like plants which are not at all useful for the which grows and not useful for a crops surrounding it. Okay, and fungicides means the chemical substances which are used to kill fungi. So what are insecticides? Insecticides are substances used to kill insects. Certain name: chlorinated hydrocarbons like DDT, BHC. BHC is commonly called as gamexine. Next is aldrin, dialdrin, etc. These are certain examples of insecticides. Okay, these are basically chlorine containing hydrocarbons. Okay, chlorinated hydrocarbons, they come under the category of insecticides. What are the examples? DDT, BHC, aldrin and dialdrin. Uses: insecticides are used in agriculture, medicine, industry and by consumers. Okay. Next is herbicides. Herbicide is a chemical substance used to kill unwanted plants. They are commonly known as weed killers. Okay, because unwanted plants are called as weeds. Okay, unwanted plants are called as weeds, and those chemical substances which are used to destroy those unwanted plants are called as weed killers or herbicides. What are the example? Acetochlor, amitrol, arsenic acid, dinitrophenol, dipyridyl carbamate, propanil, paraquat, etc. Okay, you don't have to remember so many names, just remember one or two, it's enough. Okay, acetochlor, arsenic acid, dinitrophenol, dipyridyl carbamate, propanil, paraquat, etc. Okay, this is basically a single word. What are the uses? Herbicides can be used to clear waste ground, industrial and construction sites, railways and railway embankments, as they kill all the plant material with which they come into contact. Also, these are applied in ponds and lakes to control algae and plants such as water grasses that interfere with the activities like swimming and fishing. So it's basically used to kill unwanted plants. Okay, let us again go through an example. Now see, You have to remember the word, its meaning and its example. Okay, uses you can just write whatever like given in it, and it's a very like pretty easy thing to remember. But most importantly, what you have to remember is what does this term stand for and what are its example. So herbicides are chemical substances which are used to kill unwanted plants. They are called as weed killers. Examples are acetochlor, amitrol, arsenic acid, dinitrophenol, dipyridyl carbamate, propanil and paraquat. You can remember any 2 to 3 of your choice. Next is fungicides. Fungicides are pesticides that prevent or kill or mitigate or inhibit the growth of fungi on plants. Basically, fungi are dependent on or codependent, not codependent exactly, but they are highly dependent upon plants. They like suck their nutrition from the plants, thereby harming the growth of the plant. That's why fungi are like deadly or not good enough for the growth of the plants. So, fungicides are used to prevent, kill, mitigate or inhibit the fungi or the growth of fungi on the plants. Example, very common example which you have seen is bleaching powder. Okay, which is basically the chemical formula of bleaching powder is CaOCl2. Okay, and it is prepared by the reaction hydroxide with any chlorine containing salt. Okay, so basically an example of fungicide is bleaching powder, copper sulfate solution, aluminium phosphide, copper oxychloride. Okay, then another one is carbendazim, carboxyn and mancozeb, etc. You don't have to remember all this. Again, some pretty easy ones, which is bleaching powder, copper sulfate, aluminium phosphide. You can remember this. Okay, and uses obviously to control the growth that damage the plants. Okay, next is what are biofertilizer? Now, whatever we have studied till now, be it insecticides, fungicides or herbicides, these are basically chemical fertilizer. Okay, these are made up of chemical substances. But nature has given us some biofertilizers also, which are derived from, or basically they have a biological origin and they are not that harmful for the like growth of the plant as well as like plant also and for human consumption also. Okay, the chemical fertilizers, when they enter into the bloodstream of, like, we are anyway dependent upon the plants, right? So when we are taking up the plants, indirectly those chemical substances are entering our bloodstreams, which can cause various adverse effects on us. So therefore, biofertilizer is normally a safer alternative to that. So what are biofertilizers? Biofertilizers are the substances that contains living microorganisms. Okay, they are the substances that contains living microorganisms. Now, biofertilizers increase the nutrients of the host plant when applied to their seeds, plant surface or soil by colonizing the rhizosphere of the plant. Basically, when the biofertilizers are applied on the plant, they grow around the root nodules of the plant, they colonize around that, and as a result of it, what happens? They increase the nutrient of the host plant. Host plant means the plant on which the other organisms are dependent. Okay, these are environment friendly substitute for harmful chemical fertilizers. The microorganisms in biofertilizer restore the soil's natural nutrient cycle and build soil organic matter. They are extensively advantageous in enriching the soil fertility or fulfilling plant nutrient requirements. So, you might have heard about the root nodules of leguminous plants has certain nitrogen containing bacteria which are very important for restoring or replenishing the fertility of the soil, right? So, the actual mechanism behind that is the rhizoporous bacteria present in the root nodules, they basically colonize around the root surface, and as a result of which they increase the nitrogen content of the plant, like soil, and makes the soil more fertile for the growth of the plants. Okay, now example of biofertilizers are rhizobium, azotobacter, azospirillum, blue green algae, etc. Okay, these are very important. Rhizobium, Azotobacter. These are basically the organism present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Next is Azospirillum. Next BGA, blue green algae, etc. Uses are Rhizobium inoculant is used for leguminous crops. Okay, leguminous crops like peas and all. Azotobacter can be used with crops like wheat, maize, mustard, etc. Blue-green algae is used for paddy crops and Azospirillum is used for maize, sugarcane, millets, etc. Basically, I guess that's it for the chapter. This was all about the chemicals which we use in agriculture. With this, we come to an end of this chapter. This was very small chapter, yet important, because here you have to remember the names of the the whatever we are studying, be it insecticide, pesticide, herbicide, or the biofertilizers. You have to remember the examples thoroughly, because from this chapter at least 1 or 2 marks of MCQs you can get if you remember the examples properly. So that's it for the video. There was not much to explain in this. I hope you got understood the chapter. Thank you so much.